In this tutorial we will build up controller and set up messaging, or event mechanism. So view can take user input and hand over to controller, where controller takes actions through model. The advantages of using this model view controller setup are: first, break down the tasks so 3 teams can work on different parts of the software. Second, easy to understand code. Third, easy for testing, 3 components can be tested separately before putting together. Open the controller Python file. Now we need to import several packages. Import view and model classes, as controller needs to reference these. The TKinter package is required, because we use controller as application enter point, which contains the main method. The pypubsub package is the messaging package for the communication between controller view and controller model. If you have not got pypubsub Python package, it can be found on internet. You also can install it using pip. Type in pip install pypubsub will do the job. Now we need to start setting up controller class. As usual, first is to define the init method to initialize the class. Here we have a parent argument. This is to take the TK object as the application entry point. After that we need to define variables we need to use. First the parent as discussed before. After that is model object, which is used to handle image. View object is the GUI created in last video. We need to pass parent to it, so it can link back to the application TK instance. Call view.setup method will create widgets and arrange them together. Details can be found in previous video. Split windows vertically for copying codes around. We also need to create a main method as the application entry point. Some of the code can be copied from view class, and change title to image line detection. Other parameters define the size of the window. At the end we need to start the main loop. Don't forget to create the main method. Now we need to link the GUI and controller class by using tools in pypubsub package. There are 3 actions: clicking on load image button, line detection button and change to any of the 3 sliders. Let's get into load image method first, which is triggered by clicking on load image button. The process is fair simple. First is to send message from the GUI side. Use send message from pypubsub package. Then you go to the recipient controller side to subscribe to the message. The first argument is a target method, and second argument is the message itself. Using the split screen, the connection from view class to control class is straightforward. Now we will define the method open file button pressed in controller. For the moment it just prints some texts in the terminal. So, we do the same thing to the other 2 events. Clicking on line detection button and sliding the scale bars. Correspondence methods are created in controller as well to print text in terminal for testing purpose. Model class has not been defined at this stage, so we need to isolate it for testing the controller file. Scale bar issues 2 parameters, so we add second argument to prevent error message. It works with no problem, creates view object and displays graphic user interface on screen. When we click on buttons or move sliders, messages have been passed to controller object to print text in terminal. We have created link between view and controller. Next step is to set up model class. First is to import file dialog widget from TKinter. Import OpenCV package CV2 for image manipulation. Import pypubsub for communication to controller. Import pil.image.tk for image format transferring between OpenCV and TKinter. Last one is import numpy for image manipulation. Now create model class. There is nothing to be put in initialization method, so we just put return code. The first method to be created in model class is to load image. Let's go back to controller file, look at open file button pressed method. First we need to enable model object. The object I within controller class, and it has a variable called self.model we can reference to. Now we can call the load image method from controller. The communication from controller to view and model is via reference within controller. The communication from view and model to controller is via pub and sub messaging. So this isolation of view and model from accessing controller's method is easy to manage and help independent creating and testing of view and model functionality. Now let's filling some function for load image method in model class. So we call a open file dialog window and pass the result to path variable. First argument is the initial directory. Second argument is the file filter. Here we can filter by image files and JPG extension. Third argument is the title of the window. After that we check if path is not in 0 length. Here we just print the path in terminal for testing. We will develop the codes to display image in user interface in next tutorial. It's time for a test run to see if the clicking in view has been passed to model via controller's management. Click the open file button on user interface will call load image method in model class and bring us a file picking window. It worked perfectly and we can see in terminal that the path has been correctly printed. In next video we will show you how to load, manipulate, and display image. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.